I said I was gonna do it, and I got caught up in Smash. I'm not gonna apologize for that. Smash is the shit right now. I bought it day one because I am a Smash player. Um, the Pro Controller, I don't know what it is, man. I swear to God, I think Nintendo's trying to force this old school GameCube controller down our throat because playing with the Pro Controller and playing with the Joy Cons attached to the damn thing, excuse me, it just isn't. It doesn't feel the same. I don't know if that's just me, but it doesn't feel. Excuse me, it doesn't feel like it's easy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But that being said, let's discuss the Game Awards. This travesty, this fucking weird ass award ceremony we have for video games that I feel like would be tenfold better if they kept the 3 hours, got rid of the bullshit, and presented it in such a way that it's like watching any award show. Really, I feel like that would be the best thing for it. There's a formula to an award show. There is. You could say, oh, there's not. But if you watch any award show on television, you'll see this formula. It goes presentation, presenter, showing the competitors in a little highlight reel, and then presenting the award to said winner. And then go on to in the case of the VMAs, performance. Even at the Grammys, they have performances, but they let that happen, and it's very small and in between each category. And the Game Awards just seems like a big clusterfuck, like a train wreck happening head on that you watch in slow motion, and it's bad instead of funny. But meanwhile, it's got clown music playing. That's pretty much what the Game Awards are. Because at least 35%, that's me being generous, is him just saying what won in what category and then filling the time that he could have had this put together in such a professional way that it's filled with stuff nobody cares about. For instance, last night they showed Smash like 3 times. 3 times. We all knew the game was coming out. He said it like 4 different times. So Smash was like promoted almost like it was the Video Game Awards, Smash Bros. Advertisement. Red Dead wins everything. There was a lot wrong. Okay? Not a lot right, a lot wrong. And then you had Kratos, who stole the show. The guy who voices Kratos got up there to present an award. He had the child with him who was the kid in the game. And if you listen close enough, you can hear the audience hollering for him to do the voice because the kid is obviously taking his time and goofing around trying to get him to say something in Kratos' voice as well. And the guy goes and he says, read it, boy, and everyone goes nuts. I'm feeling some type of way because I have the collector's edition of that game. I've been playing it a little bit. So it's one of those things that's just like, oh, thank God. And I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be done when you present. Use the faces we don't see, okay? Like, for instance, Kiefer Sutherland was there last year because of Metal Gear 5. I think it was last year or the year before. He was at one of them, and he got up on stage, started talking because he accepted an award. And I was thinking, you know what, Kiefer Sutherland, it would mean more if you boycotted the award ceremony over Konami's mistreatment of Kojima. But it also would have meant a lot to people if you would have got up there and talked like Snake. Just saying, hell, if they want to use Hollywood actors, use the ones that are in video games and have them use the same voice they use in a video game. It means a lot to the crowd. It means a lot to the industry because a lot of us have never seen the person behind the game. We've never seen the voice of, like, we don't see the guy who's voicing our favorite character. We know the name, but we don't know the face. So I think people presenting the award could be the characters in games, and they could be doing the presentation in that character's voice, so we can identify them. It would help the community a lot, but they don't go that route. Instead, they get Jonah Hill. They get the lead singer of Fall Out Boy, and I'm just like, this is a disaster. And I don't know if anybody else heard, but the host was like, surprise Canadian, might as well have been called the Canadian Game Awards. The way he was acting about, it's another Canadian studio, it's another Canadian studio, another Canadian studio. He seemed to be surprised by this. I don't know why. But I mean, there's so many things you could say, oh, you're nitpicking, but honestly, I think if he went and followed the same thing as everywhere else, the show could be 100 times better. I think if he got rid of the music performances, the same thing that killed Sony's E3 this past year was the music performances. Sorry, I don't care, and nobody else did. Yes, it was cool to kind of set the mood, but at the same time, everybody was just kind of like, can we get to the good part? It did bring one thing to my attention during the musical thing. When they played the theme song to Devil May Cry 5, is it just me, or is Devil May Cry going from being like super hard rock out, like heavy metal almost, to very poppy, very emo-ish? Is it just me, or is anybody else getting that vibe? Because I feel like Devil May Cry 5 might be something I skip due to the fact that it just seems more mainstreamish rather than sticking to Devil May Cry itself. We got to see more of Anthem and why we should be afraid of the game. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on Nintendo. I don't know who said Nintendo was coming with crazy announcements, but the fact they announced Joker from Persona 5 was more than enough for me. Hell, I was surprised Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 was an exclusive. How did that, like, not mean anything to anybody? I remember Marvel's Ultimate Alliance meaning a lot during the PS3, the PS2, the original Xbox, the 360 generation, because every one of those, the first and second one, were playable on both generations. And we've been waiting on the third one for a long time. Excuse me. And I'm just happy to see them continue this. Now it's time for LucasArts to bring us Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 already. I'm a super Force Unleashed fan, and I've been waiting on the third one since I beat the second one. And still nothing. But we got Marvel Alliance Ultimate Alliance 3. It's exclusive to Switch. And this goes to prove a point with me. Nintendo is willing to save franchises. Notice nobody ever said shit about Ultimate Alliance 3. Not Sony, not Xbox. Nintendo's like, hey man, people want it. Let's give it to them. That's one reason I like Nintendo. Same thing happened with Bayonetta, an adult game with adult themes. Sony and Xbox did not see fit to pursue the game after the first one did not meet expectations on either PlayStation or Xbox. So Nintendo picked it up. Nintendo optioned it. And Nintendo's now got Bayonetta. They now got Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They now, you know, we're looking at Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 would not be a thing without Nintendo. Now, I'm not mad Nintendo didn't come to the Game Awards and just, like, go crazy. Although I do have a conspiracy about the Game Awards this year. I think the host guy, Jeff, whatever his name is super in love with a certain franchise that won more than anyone else this year. Because if you remember to last year, Mario was kind of in the same boat as Red Dead. This one anyway. because they were like, oh, game of the year is going to either be Mario or Zelda. And when Zelda won, everybody was saying the same thing. Yeah, Mario can't really win because it's like a November release game because it came out on the last day of October. So it was only out for like a month, maybe 2 months by the time the Game Awards came around. Red Dead Redemption came out in October. We're in December now. I don't even think it came out at the beginning of October. I think it came out more towards the end. So it's not even 2 months old yet. And this is Game of the Year. Like, this is a Game of the Year contender. This game stole everything else but Game of the Year. Really? God of War didn't win, but 2 out of the several it was qualified for, which brings me to the conspiracy. The host of it likes the Red Dead and fell victim to the same thing everybody else is falling victim to when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the waiting factor behind Red Dead Redemption 2. Because you see people slamming, you see people going in and like criticizing and like damning Bethesda. But have you heard anyone really go in at Rockstar for screwing up the online play as much as they have when all they had to do was copy and paste Grand Theft Auto scheme and throw the Western over it and be good? No. Why? Because it's Red Dead Redemption 2. People have been waiting on that game for a while. So it gets a pass. Don't get a pass with me because I myself don't care. If it's messed up, it's messed up. I'm not going to give Rockstar a pass, nor should you. I will say this. Nintendo did, in a way, go ham at the award show. First of all, who saw Mortal Kombat 11 coming to Switch? Nobody saw that happening. Everyone was like, it's a pipe dream, it'll never happen. Mortal Kombat hasn't been cool with Nintendo since the Wii, with Armageddon on the Wii. That was a long time ago. Here we are at the Switch. Mortal Kombat 11 is coming back to Nintendo. That is insane. I can't wait to pick up Mortal Kombat for the Switch. Honestly, I feel like fighters are not represented that well on the Switch. But with Mortal Kombat, I got Street Fighter 2. I have Smash now. I feel like we're going to get a good, healthy representation of fighting games now. Not only that, but you know, I was sad to see Ubisoft did not say, hey, Assassin's Creed is coming to the Switch. I've been waiting on an Assassin's Creed to come to the Switch. Jesus, I'll take the first one by now for the Switch. Just make it happen, man. I'm telling you, I'll take the worst out of all of them, man. Give me the third one. That's not even a good Assassin's Creed. You give me Black Flag. Re-release Black Flag for the Switch. I'll buy it day one. I was impressed with some of the stuff they showed. It definitely brought the amount of games that I plan to buy up for next year from just the one with Kingdom Hearts 3 to Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. We got Mortal Kombat 11. So that's 3 games. I went up to from 1. I wasn't planning on buying any more than just Kingdom Hearts at the end of next month. But now I'm like, yo, Mortal Kombat 11 looks incredible. Although I did not like the trap music playing during it. I'm sorry. I like trap music, but I think my trap music is a hell of a lot different from that shit. Because my trap music, I always think of T.I. and Trap Music, the album. Whatever the fuck that was, I don't know. The whole time to drown out the music while watching, I was going, yo, it's going in, like the fight is going down. That's what I was saying to myself. So it looks good. I am feeling some type of way because they didn't show my boy Sub-Zero. Every Mortal Kombat game I play Sub-Zero. That is my guy. What else was shown there? They had all 3 big wigs come on the stage at one time. people felt some type of way about it. I'm like, then people don't hate each other. Fuck, get out of here. That's not like the be all end all. I don't know why people are acting like that's such a big deal. We the customers are the problem when it comes to that. To believe Reggie and Uncle Phil would have a problem. Come on now. To believe Sony's person, I don't know his name, and Reggie would have a problem, or him and Uncle Phil have a problem. Like, come on, people. These guys are in it to make some money. And if you like their content, cool. And Uncle Phil, oh my God, Uncle Phil. Excuse me, the host was trying his damnedest to give Xbox a little bit of credibility. And Uncle Phil, you undermined that by saying it could have been better. No. Alright, look here, Uncle Phil. You named every game that released big for Xbox this year. Notice that when he did that, his expression was was like mortified. He looked like he is failing his company. And honestly, I feel like he's not happy because his genre, the Halo games, first person shooter game, wasn't even mentioned in this past year. He didn't release one. Had a Halo come out, he would have been on stage talking about, yeah, bitch, Halo Wars 2 just came out. Fucking, it's an amazing game. He would have gone in because Halo is the franchise he believes is better than everything. He could say he doesn't believe that, but if you watch his past, if you watch him on stage when Halo's coming out, he's all lit up, he's happy, he's carrying himself different. And then at the Game Awards, was he not like, yeah, we had an okay year, it could have been better. He wasn't feeling it. What else? Before I go, because I'm going to end it with this, Smash Bros. If you haven't played it, play it. And spend a good minute on that stage selection. Oh my God, Nintendo, what are you doing to me, man? Everybody's got to be asking the same question. Are we going to ever get Mother 3? Because you have some of the most gorgeous stages involving Mother 3. Holy Christ, I selected one of them, and it was beautiful. I was like, what's going on here? And I selected one. I only selected one of them. It was gorgeous, and I scrolled down. I was scrolling through them all, and the other stage for Mother 3 is just as gorgeous to look at. It's amazing. I played in Final Fantasy VII's Midgard. Awesome. Not really a fan of those arts. I'm not really a fan of the arts. I think Ifrit should be on there, but it's more than not Behemoth. So, that being said, the Game Awards, hopefully, you know what, I said I was going to, let me say this one more thing because I think it's true. He should host it the month before E3 because it's the Game Awards. And if he hosts it the month before E3, it can big E3 up even more. And also, it means he's got to host it in like May. Right? If he hosts in May, it's in the middle of the year, he can actually use all of last year's games together. You feel what I'm saying? Which is why I think Rockstar and Red Dead Redemption 2 were just a fan favorite, and the hype and everything is why it won awards instead of it standing on its own merits. Because people are still excited about that game. They're like, oh my god, it's Red Dead Redemption 2. Not taking anything away from that game and how it plays, how it handles. But I think it won majority of the shit that it won because of the hype behind it, not because of the actual game itself. And like I said, I'll back that up because of Mario Odyssey, this thing right here, and how it came out at the end of October, and it was up for Game of the Year. Yeah, see, that just don't make any kind of fucking sense. If he hosts it in May, before E3, then say it's like the Game Awards 2019, then in all honesty, looking back at 18, he can have all that right there and it can all be equal. It can't, be like, oh, well, Red Dead Redemption came out at the end of the year. Well, if it's May, it's had enough time. And it fell victim to that hype train that it's been on since its launch. I think if it would have been up against God of War and the hype train had died down, we would have saw a different outcome. So he needs to change up the way he goes about it. Maybe don't do one for 2019. Wait till 2020. Come back with the Game Awards in 2020 in May. That way the show can be about the games released in 2019. And you don't have to worry about the ones that come out in October or towards the end of October or even November. And you can add everybody at one time. You feel what I'm saying? So, big misrepresentation there, I feel, due to the fact that Red Dead won so much off of that award show that it was due to the hype, not due to the merit of the game itself. Now, you can be mad at me on that. I don't care. That's just how I feel. You can feel a different way. But I feel like if he does all these things, then the show can be so much better and grab a bigger crowd than it's grabbing right now, which is small work in comparison. I think the Game Awards could be on par, if not bigger, than E3, which is why I'm saying hosted the month before. But again, you're looking at a little bit of work and a little bit of edge and a little bit of getting some of these sponsors pissed off, and I think that would help. Have one or two sponsors pissed. Have things that only support games like Tostinos, Doritos, Mountain Dew, Monster, stuff like that, where you've seen video games advertised on the products. Those are the only ones who can host and be sponsors for this. Okay? Don't bring up no celebrities who are not in video games. Jonah Hill, I don't know if he's been in a game. I think he might have been the son in Grand Theft Auto 5. But how the hell am I supposed to know? Don't bring out Fall Out Boy's lead man to present something. Get the fuck out of here. I think if he does all that, man, I think the Game Awards could be one of the best award shows ever. But again, he's got to go and he's got to fix all that, man. Anyway, I'm out this.